Hey guys, SteemDRIce here, casting for the inaugural Seal 1v1 StarCraft 2 tournament. This is Game 3 between RageBoredguy and NikkeZ. In Game 1, NikkeZ dropped the set to RageBoredguy, who was able to get up the army that he wanted to destroy the Terran player. In Game 2, NikkeZ managed to pull off an excellent Hellion Marine attack twice to kill off, I think it was 50 drones from the Zerg player. And now this is Game 3, the ace match between these two players. NikkeZ in the bottom left, spawning as the red Terran, and cross map positions in the top right in the blue trunks, as Total Biscuit would say. RageBoredguy spawning as the blue Zerg. We did see NikkeZ pulling off with great success a Marine Hellion attack last game, and we're going to have to wait and see what he wants to pull out in this game. He is going to wall off at the front of his base, at the front of his natural, likely going to see a fast expand from the Terran player. RageBoredguy sending out a drone to scout this overlord, moving cross positions on this map, Tal'Darim Altar, which is massive. I'm not allowed to swear. It is a massive map, especially in cross positions, and RageBoredguy is going to be as happy as a happy camper in these positions. We do see now both players are opening as standard as can be, so I'm going to take the time out right now to thank our sponsor, Cyberthor. You can check them out at www.cyberthor.com.au. They are sponsoring this event, handing out $150 vouchers to every single player who wins any sort of money from us. And Cyberthor is a company that sells computer parts, whole computers, and computer peripherals. Do see a hatch first going down now for RageBoredguy, likely going to see a drone and then a spawning pool for him. Go check out cyberthor.com.au if you have not already. We can't thank them enough for sponsoring this event, and we hope that you guys will have some fun watching this event as much as I have casting it. We do see a Marine coming out now for NikkeZ. RageBoredguy going to be able to see into the main of the Terran player. No supply depot on the way yet for the Terran player. This may come back to haunt him as, oh no, going down now. RageBoredguy just going to pop right back out. This Marine going to not quite pick off that Zerg player, and he's going to scout up now with this SCV. He's going to spot the hatch first from the Zerg player. Spawning pool almost finished now. Extractor almost done. Almost like a repeat of the last two games from both players, which is what you'd expect at a diamond level. We do see NikkeZ sending an SCV out now. Wonder what he's going to do, but he does throw down the factory out at the front, so we're likely going to see a Hellion play again from the Terran player. Expansion is now up for the Zerg player. 4 Zerglings on the way, a Queen on the way in the main. We do see a Spine Crawler going down now. RageBoredguy doing everything he can to prevent a repeat of the last game. NikkeZ is spotted inside the base, and he's going to be taken out by those Zerglings. Again, 2 Marines out for the Terran player. Reactor on the way again. So we're going to see the exact same build from the Terran player as he pulled out in the last couple of games. Is RageBoredguy now moving out to the center of the map, trying to take some map control. He's going to see what he can see, do what damage he can do. Oh, no, in fact, throwing down a tech lab on that factory. I wonder what we're going to see out of the Terran player, because in the standard iteration of this build, you would switch the factory with the barracks. And RageBoredguy is now going to come up here, and he's going to see the reactor on the barracks, but he's going to lose both these Zerglings. Not too much of a deal. Zerglings are, in fact, free if you are a Zerg player, but we do see siege tech on the way for NikkeZ and no siege mode. As supply depot is going down now, I'll be interested to see what the Zerg player decides to do from this position. Likely going to be going for a lair next, but we don't know. Getting a Queen now on the way, 2 Overlords now on the way as well. RageBoredguy does not know about this expansion, but he can probably guess that it's there given this sort of wall off from the Terran player. Not building anything, another barracks in the main for the Terran player. Dropping mules to keep his economy going. A lair is now on the way for the Zerg player. On top of his lava injects as well. These spine crawlers moving up here to deny any sort of attack up here from the Terran player. If you look at the unit counting station, RageBoredguy is 10 workers ahead of the Terran player. This is not really the sort of position you want to be in as a Terran player, because the Zerg player is basically getting the opportunity to get exactly the army that he wants. NikkeZ is doing the same build that he did in game 1, so we're going to see if he's going to be able to change the result from that game. We do see now spine crawlers popping up now. More Zerglings having completed construction for the Zerg player. He actually went for a lair before he got the Zergling speed. Baneling nest on the way. His lair now finished. Likely going to see a spine crawler again. A spire again from the Zerg player. The Ling Bling Muta play works very well on this map, given how large the distances are, and it's very easy to counterattack into the Terran player's main as a Zerg player. A massive Zergling is now moving out into the center of the map to take map control again, take the Xel'Naga towers away from the Terran player. Gonna lose one Marine, but he does still have a Marine on this Xel'Naga tower, but he's sending out 2 Zerglings now to take control of it. Do see tanks and Marines about as standard as can be for the Terran player. Very potent mix against Zerg, especially if they don't have a Spire, and as I say that, he does throw down the Spire, so we're gonna see a Mutalisk. We're going to see Mutalisks out of the Zerg player and double evolution chambers for double upgrades for the Zerg player. NikkeZ is now moving out into the center of the map. He's probably going to do an attack at exactly 3 siege tanks. No stim, no combat shields for the Terran player, and he is supply blocked. It'll be interesting to see if this attack does manage to work, because Marines are fairly weak in a sense without any upgrades. Siege tanks will, however, be able to cover it. But 18 Zerglings on the way now for the Zerg player, and that's probably going to be finishing off this attack from the Terran player. He is moving up now. Banelings on the way, 7 of them. Centrifugal hooks is almost done. I'm not sure if it'll be done in time for this attack, and I don't think it will be. NikkeZ is now sieging up outside of the Zerg player's base, and this is now a waiting game for the Terran player. He's going to move up the ramp and use these siege tanks to take out as much of the spine crawlers as possible. He can't see up there right now, so he's going to move up and he's going to get vision of that spine crawler, and he's going to do a bit of damage on him. And these banelings are rolling in. They're going to try and do, and they do pull back out of range again of the Marines. He's going to pull them into this position here, and RageBoredguy has just decided to go straight for the Marines. He's going to take out so many Marines. These siege tanks are going to be cleaned up by the rest of these Zerglings, and this attack has been completely thwarted by RageBoredguy. But as we can see in the food counts, they are still remarkably even. NikkeZ is in an extremely strong defensive position. The Spire has now completed for the Zerg player. We're probably going to see a lot of Mutalisks coming out now, but missile turrets are already up in the Terran player's base, and he's getting more refineries up to get that gas so he can get more siege tanks, throwing down a barracks and a starport now. He realizes that the last attack would have gone a lot better if he did have those medivacs, and these Marines in the center are going to get taken out by these Zerglings. Continuing to take out these destructible rocks, this drone here is going to be taking this base as a third for RageBoredguy, going one base up against Terran, which is exactly what you want to do as Zerg. 1-1 ups now on the way for the Zerg player, about halfway done, and this will make it so that his Zerglings and Banglings going to do a lot more damage against the against the Terran player. At 2-0, Banelings do one-shot SCVs, so we're likely going to see that coming out at some point in this game. NikkeZ is now sending out another little force into the top of his ramp, deciding to siege up there, taking a defensive posture at the top of his ramp to protect his base, and deciding to take out these rocks as well. So we're going to see a long macro game from these two players. This queen is now throwing down creep tumors, which is not something we saw in the previous 2 games that the Zerg player really did that well. It's not something we've seen so far from the Zerg player, and this creep spread could go a lot better, but these Mutalisks are now popping out for the Zerg player, and we're going to see missile turrets. We're going to see if these missile turrets have been placed in a good enough position by the Terran player. RageBoredguy now taking a 20 food lead against the Terran player. If we look in the harvesters, in the income tab, 65 harvesters, 272 from the Terran player. So he's way ahead on the income as well in that position. 30 Marines and 5 tanks for the Terran player against 21 Zerglings and 14 Mutalisks. Still no stim on the way, or still no stim finished or on the way yet for the Terran player. He is lifting off this command center. Ooh, what's he doing there? Where? Ooh, yeah, he's going to land this command center here to take his third base. And again, RageBoredguy grouping up these bases. He is taking out those missile turrets with these Mutalisks, but the rest of these Marines are going to come in here and fight them away. Mutalisks deciding to come back for round 2 against the Terran player. He's sending out his Marines to shut that down. Missile turret here will be taken out if the Zerg player decides to attack that way. And he's just going to turn around and go. No, he's going to just hang out here. Let the Terran player know, I'm here. You're not going to be able to stop me. A 4th hatch going down now for the Zerg player. A lot of Zerglings being produced and a lot of Banelings having just finished. Do you see now 4 spine crawlers going up for the Zerg, 5 spine crawlers going up for the Zerg player in this position to prevent any sort of flanking or counterattack from the Terran player from really taking place. He's going to go home with these Mutalisks. 16 more Banelings are in production. That's a lot of Marines out now for NikkeZ, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to take out the Zerg player. Unsieging his tanks, he's just going to sit out here. Now would be actually a decent time to attack as soon as stim finishes, but he needs to be producing those SCVs. He's not really on top of a 36 Zerglings on the way though for the Zerg player, so any sort of attack from the Terran player will be shut down hard if he decides to make it right now, and he is going to move out to the center of the map to see what's going on. Pathogen glands now on the way for the Zerg player, and a hive on the way. So we're going to see a bit of infestor play, which is something that Zergs have really been liking lately. A lot more in ZVP than in both ZVP and ZVT, but NikkeZ is intimidated and just decides to go home and sit down and siege up. RageBoredguy moving out to center of the map now with his Ling Bling army. He really wants to be taking up into something bigger though, because if he leaves it too long, a Terran maxed army will in most situations destroy a Zerg maxed army, but it doesn't really matter in this case because RageBoredguy is 50 food ahead of NikkeZ at this point. Flying out with his Mutalisks now, and if he decides to do a frontal attack, that would be the way for NikkeZ to get back into this game. I don't really see RageBoredguy being able to crack this position unless he manages to kill these Marines. These Marines are the most crucial part of NikkeZ's defense. And if they go down, then the Mutalisks will be free to fly and clean absolutely everything up. A drop going down now for NikkeZ. And it's likely going to be spotted, but we'll see if anything actually comes out of this attack. Flying straight over the Xel'Naga tower, and yeah, RageBoredguy does in fact see this drop on the way. And moving his army over now to deny it. Flying past a second Xel'Naga tower to make sure the Zerg player has seen it if he hasn't already. And he's going to fly these Mutalisks over here to take out that medevac and the Marines inside it. Dropping as he moves. Takes out one Mutalisk with this drop, but it's just going to get cleaned up by the superior Mutalisk count for the Zerg player. Creep is now spreading into the middle of the map. There's not really that much else going on right now. These Banelings and Zerglings now moving out to the center of the map. He may decide to go for a flanking attack, but this planetary fortress may shut that down. But with that many Banelings, I don't really think it matters what sort of command center NikkeZ has at that base. Building more Hellions now with no Infernal Pre-Igniter. Is it on the way? No Blue Flame research for the Terran player. Zerg player running a couple of Zerglings out here to the middle of the map to check out on any expansions that are going down, and a 5th base being taken now by RageBoredguy, who is now maxed 198 out of 200. If we look at the income tab, 71 harvesters to 52.